What's up, gang? Welcome to CEDIA 2025. We're here at the Sonance booth. We got a big year and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're excited to give you a little bit of a booth tour. Come on along for the ride and we'll show you some new stuff. All right, we got some fresh updates to the Sonance Design Gallery tool. This is something we've had in market for a couple of years, but we've realized that sometimes the messaging and the storytelling element can be a little bit hard to work through with some of your customers. So we try to make some updates to make this a little bit more of a specification geared tool. That way it's a little bit easier for you to walk through choices and go through some simple ideas. So from a high level review, I'll show you a couple little details here. We can jump in any one of these tiles that jump out to specific elements of what we do in the world of audio. You can jump right in here to this Design to Disappear tab and start some really simple conversations. We're migrating from conversations around basic pairs in a system to building out with even balanced coverage. That way it's more comfortable for everybody in that backyard area. More speakers doesn't always mean more volume. A lot of times it just means we can pull the volume down because everybody's close enough to a speaker, it's really comfortable to listen to. Once we've addressed some basic ideas and given a little bit of education, we can hit this tab here that says Find Your Finish. This allows you to look through a lot of different materials and surfaces in the outdoor world to help make some choices for your customers. So if I tap here on In Ceiling, I can make some simple suggestions and say, which of these design solutions best fits the design of your space? And as I tab through from simple traditional style solutions with custom paint, small aperture, custom wood, it's a simple discussion that allows a customer to look visually and make some decisions on what's going to look best in their space. We're not talking about price tags. We're not talking about model numbers or brand names. It's a simple, what's the right design for your space? We're really trying to make this conversation easier for customers to understand and relate to. Once they get committed and a little bit more emotional about their project, it's a lot easier to make that sale and make that close. All right, gang, let's talk a little bit about TV audio. This is a category here at the show that we feel has really been untapped historically, and we're going to take a crack at solving some problems that we've been working with for a long time here in the CEDIA channel. We know that in most houses, you're going to have one critical surround zone where people are investing big dollars, big money into the speakers, the screens, the projectors. We also know most of those homes, you're going to have a number of additional televisions that are around the house that are dealing with traditional factory TV speakers. We all know that that's not quite good enough to get audio into the space. And so we're trying to find ways to address from an aesthetic and a performance standpoint, how do we get better audio into those zones? At Sonance, we have a lot of different solutions that allow you to think creatively about the design of the space. And going back to this Design Gallery app, we asked the question, how do we make that sound look better in those areas? So typically we would start with a basic consumer grade soundbar. It may get the job done from an audio standpoint, but it doesn't always look like it belongs in that space. So as we're chatting with their customer, we can present different ideas like speaker bars built to the custom width of the television, built to the height of the television. We might look at speakers in the ceiling or in the walls, or if it's something like a frame or an art design TV, we might be talking about things like invisible speakers, in which case we can completely conceal those solutions altogether. So we've got a lot of different solutions between our Sonance and James product that answer the question, how do I provide better audio into those spaces without distracting from the design? One of the areas though that we've struggled in the past is how do we amplify those solutions? Am I running wire back to the rack and coming from the head end? Am I using an amplifier back behind the TV? Well, we've got a new solution here at Sonance called a UA2125 ARC that we think is going to fit the bill. If you guys want to take a ride with me over here, we'll take a look at this back box and show you an example. What we have is an ultra compact UA2125. This is 125 watts per channel into 4 ohm or 8 ohm. It's also an entirely full DSP amplifier. So anything that you can do inside of a Sonance DSP rack mount amplifier, you can also do inside of this little UA2125. Setup and configuration is simple. There's an app that connects via Bluetooth. You can run it on any type of phone. It's a simple connection, doesn't require a network jack, and we're going to end up pulling all of the volume control straight from the CEC commands out of the television. It simplifies the system to the point where you can offer your customer the factory TV remote or their favorite Apple TV remote to control the system without the extra expense of your control system branded remote. The idea here is we can also build this modular into the room. That way we're not having to run wire all the way back to the head end. The amplifier also includes a set of analog inputs. So bring in your favorite streaming device, a feed from your control system to bring that audio solution in. The amplifier has auto switching capabilities. That way, when you turn that TV on, it's looking for TV sound. But as soon as you push play on your music, amplifier snaps back and starts playing music for you. Takes some of the automation woes and requirements out of the system and gets it done in a simple solution that lives behind the TV. Simple to use, elegant to install, great high performance from a sound and an aesthetic standpoint. TV audio is one of the biggest categories that we think the industry has failed to address. We're excited at Sonance and James to have a lot of solutions from a speaker standpoint and now a really elegant audio standpoint, an amplifier to power it all. All right, let's talk a little bit about James Wedge. This is one of those products in the family that has always been one of our highest design products. So you maybe want to take a look up here. You can see we've got a wedge panned up, sitting here between these two end posts. The beauty of Wedge is that it disappears into plain sight. The challenge that we've had is we haven't felt like it's delivered from an audio standpoint. Well, that's all changed in 2025. We've completely rebuilt this product from the ground up. All new woofers, all new Quadratech Quadratech tweeters, new CDX crossovers. We've even included some new installation tricks, like a new switch that allows you to switch from a boundary scenario to a free space scenario. This effectively is mechanically switching the crossover based on the environment that it's installed in to give you a head start from a sound performance and a DSP standpoint. So we've got a 4-inch model as well as an 8-inch model. The Wedge in the catalog, if you're looking for it, is going to look like it's either a 17 or a 22-inch product. But we know that the beauty of the Wedge is when you start to customize the size and the dimensions as well as the color tones. That's what gets you in a situation where these products really disappear into plain sight. So if you haven't had a chance to get a demo of the new Wedge, come out and see us. Reach out to your local representative and see if they've got one that you can come out and play with. Come check out the new Wedge product from James Loudspeaker. All right, we got a couple little updates for you from a Patio series landscape system perspective. For years, we've been shipping the Patio series, which out of the box is a 4 satellite, 1 subwoofer system. Historically, we've used an amp called a 2100. We made some updates to this recently with the new launch of our UA2125 amplifiers. There's now an audio-only version of the UA2125 that gives you analog inputs as well as a couple of digital inputs. This allows you to come back to a full DSP solution even on that Patio series system. This is 125 watts into 2 channels. And again, it has full DSP capabilities. So once you're in the outdoor environment, you can tune and shape that sound exactly the way that you want to. We've got a great partner brand called Altelex. They make this really cool enclosure. It's a really nice way that you can bring out an outdoor landscape system to the outside, even if you forgot to stub wires, or maybe you're doing a retrofit project where you don't have connection to the inside of the house. The box allows you to drop in the UA2125 amplifier, your favorite streaming device, power's in the box, there's fans for cooling, and of course it's outdoor protected. It's a product from Altelex. That's a partner company, just a fun relationship to have by friends in the industry. So check out the new UA2125 audio amplifier that is now built into the Patio Series 4.1 system from Sonance. All right, welcome to Blaze Amplifiers. We have got a ton to unpack here with this new product line. Blaze brings in 21 new models of amplifiers that we will start shipping to the CI channel in January of 2026. What you see really here is 2 different rack layouts. These are all 1U options. And on the right side here, you've got 2U options. We break Blaze down into 2 product families. The Power Zone series, which you see from here down, it's a combination of 2 different 1U half rack amps as well as a 1U full rack amp. These are more utility-based amplifiers. They're flexible from a 70 volt or an 8 ohm standpoint. You can run power to different channels in different ways. Think about these a little bit more for your bar or restaurant applications, something to hit a right price point, but still get the job done in those light commercial applications. Once we jump up into the Power Zone Connect versions from 1U and 2U models, now we're talking full range DSP, high power options, and even a handful of Dante models along the way. All amplifiers have 8 ohm and 4 ohm capability, as well as some 2 ohm options as well. And they also can do 70 volt. Amplifiers sizing from 150 watts in an amplifier all the way up to a heavy hitting 6,000 watts in a single 2U chassis. These things are monsters. If you don't believe me, take a look at these Phoenix blocks. They are oversized to fit heavy 10 gauge wire. So when you're doing those long range runs for outdoor landscape systems where you got to put 40 to 50 satellites on an amplifier, we can get it done. A lot to talk about with the new Blaze amps, and we'll be coming to your market, giving you a lot of information updates as we start to roll out these product lines. One of the other things that we're really excited is a new UI and a new platform to build and configure your systems. So here's a sneak peek and a little bit of a look at what we could do from a graphics interface. We can take a look and set up an amp 1 IP address at a time like you've been doing with DSP amps from Sonance for years. Sometimes the challenge is you've got 4, 5, 6 tabs open to manage those different amplifiers. What we have now is a full dashboard that lets you dive in and see all of the amps you have on the network and bounce through one at a time, so you always know exactly which amplifier you're looking at, which zone of the house, and how you want to configure those products. Speaking of configuration, all of these amps also have a Wi-Fi antenna built into them. So if you're on a project where maybe you don't have the network established yet, or you're running out for a quick troubleshoot and you don't want to jump into the network so much, you can jump out and do a one-to-one connection based on a little Wi-Fi hotspot that comes out of these amplifiers. So check into your Wi-Fi on your phone or your mobile device, find the amp you want to jump into, and you've got access to the whole UI. Speaking of mobile device configuration, if you've ever configured one of our amps in Sonance, you know it's a little bit of a journey to have to go in there, pinch to zoom, migrate around the screen, and find the drop-down menus. All of the Blaze amplifiers have the ability to auto-adapt to a mobile environment. So if it sees that you're on a phone, it recognizes that, it formats the screen, so it's really easy to jump through and make some quick changes or updates and configurations. We'll be coming into your market in the next couple of months to give you a deep dive into all the amplifiers, 21 models, up to 6,000 watts. Man, we got a lot to be excited about with Blaze amplifiers. We can't wait to come and chat with you. If you got any questions ahead of time, give us a shout. We're always looking for a phone call. All right, welcome to Sonance Architectural Offerings. Those of you that know us well know that our catalog is pretty big when it comes to architectural audio. Everything from our traditional solutions, 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch models, a variety of performance elements, and also a lot of different trim details and accessories that we can provide from an aesthetic standpoint. Look in here, we've got a couple different options to show you what's available even in our basic level architectural speakers. We ship by default with a traditional micro trim bezel, but you also have the option to go to a trimless. If you've got a picky designer or homeowner on the house that says no plastic details, we've got an option for you. Maybe your light plan has turned into a flush lighting plan and you want to carry out that design from a traditional standpoint. So we actually have TrueFig platforms that allow you to flush any of our traditional size and shape speakers into the substrate of that drywall or solid surface material. We can also lean into some of our higher end skills like laser printing to customize the match of that to the native environment that it's living in. And of course, we've got a quick snapshot of all the different sizes, shapes, and trims from an architectural standpoint. If you're looking to really hide your audio, of course, the Sonance Invisible family is our #1 SKU if you don't want to see what you're hearing. So that's where we get out to our model family, IS6, IS8, IS10. We like to think of these as small, medium, and large, depending on the environment that you're looking to live in. And of course, we've got these display boards that remind you what the type of finishes that Invisibles can be installed in. Everything from drywall with a layer of primer, paint, texture, into plaster materials, wallpapers, even paperback wood veneers, and leather covering materials. There's a lot of different environments that we're happy to install Invisible speakers into. Performance is exceptional. The design is perfect and beautiful. If you don't have the option for one of these materials and maybe you're thinking, well, I'm dealing with tongue and groove, that's where we might take a look at some of our offerings in the small Aperture lineup. So come on over and I'll walk you through a few different options from our James family, as well as a newer SKU from the Sonance family. In James, we're building everything out of a 5052 aircraft aluminum chassis. We've got a range of speakers in this environment, from traditional SA68, which is now our go-to in this SA line, to different form factors. If you have challenges with construction, if you don't have the size and the fitment to get your products in, we've got a number of different SKUs that are in the catalog. And of course, if you run into one of those tricky challenges, you can always give us a call and we'll come up with a creative solution to solve the problem with you. We also have the big beefy guys, the SA853s, in a couple different formats. What you see on the wall here is a variant of the original 9-inch depth product, where maybe you don't have the space in the ceiling to get there. Well, that's why we came up with a shallow model, a 6-inch variant that allows us to get even shallower into those installation environments. I actually had a friend, an integrator, that just got into a situation where he said, I've only got 5 inches, what do I do? The challenge got pushed to the team, and we figured out how to get this thing into a 5-inch environment. So that's the good point to say, you run into something tricky, give us a shout and let us know. And then again, this is our second year showing the SA466 from Sonance. This is a newer model for us that allows you to get into a lower price point with the SA family. What we find oftentimes is that the primary spaces, the kitchen, the family room, tend to get the high-end finishes, those best design elements. But then when you look at the bathrooms, the hallways, the guest rooms, we're back in a big 10-inch pizza pan land. But we want to create a SKU that opened up an opportunity that you can find a way to reconcile that budget and still stay in that small Aperture format. If you haven't heard the SA466, definitely reach out to your local rep. and they'll come out and do a demo with you. And while we're in front of them, I'll just give you one last note. All of these boards that you've seen on the walls throughout this quick video, all of these are available to you as a dealer. We made a point to say, if these are tools that can help you in your showroom to tell the story, to dive into design language, to better relate to your customers, we wanted to be a great partner for you and offer these types of display boards. You can order these a la carte, one board at a time, or if you want to get the whole package, we've got a whole suite of tools to help you tell those stories inside of your home showrooms. If you need any help with that, reach out to your local reps. We'd be happy to get you connected. All right, welcome to new PowerPipe. PowerPipe's a product that's been in the James family since the 2010 range. It's not anything new for us. However, in 2025, we have completely broken that line down to the bare bones and rebuilt it from scratch. All new design elements, and you might notice here, if you're new to this, looking at the badging, you'll see Sonance and James naming on here. Traditionally, this has been a product only found in the James family. We're taking some steps to lean into the Sonance family and bring this to the catalog for Sonance as well. We've really tried to simplify this new PPX line so it's not quite as confusing as the old range. Right now, what we're looking at is 4 SKUs, PPX 8, 10, 12, and 15. And then there is a marine grade variant for each of those SKUs. So a very simplified line, just 8 SKUs to have to remember. This is a product line that wasn't just an iterative change where we make a small performance update. This was a complete scrap and rebuild from the ground up. We are so excited at the performance levels that you can get out of these subwoofers. For those that maybe haven't seen a PowerPipe before, the general concept is like this. Take a full-size driver, a full-size properly tuned cabinet, but bring it into the aesthetics of the space in a way that doesn't turn into a big black box in the room. You can hide these things in crawl spaces. You can stick them into attics. You can put them into cabinetry. You can put them in an adjacent room and bring them in through this flexible tube and one of the beautiful trims. You can see how we can mill these into the custom millwork. The CNC files are available if you want to do this on site, or of course you can always lean into our team for some support there if you need it. We've also got a range of options. You can see that we have a new magnetic bezel that will snap onto these from a toe kick standpoint. So say bye-bye to those old black screws on your custom painted trims. We now have magnetic attachments. We can also terminate in small aperture trims. We can use either the 4-inch, the 6-inch, or the 8-inch James or Sonance traditional style speakers to terminate these in the ceiling or in the walls. And of course, the HVAC registers, and then anything custom under the sun that you can think of. We get so excited watching integrators find creative ways to bring these products into their homes, to bring room-filling bass with minimal aesthetics distracting from those rooms. Come check out the new PPX line from Sonance and James Loudspeaker. All right, gang, that's it for CEDIA 2025 here at the Sonance booth. Thanks for coming along with the walk with me, learning about some new products, some new strategies. Man, we always look forward to spending time with you. So if you've got any questions, if you want to learn more about the Sonance brand story, the way that we look through the design lens, the product family, any of that stuff, give us a shout, reach out to your local reps. We're always looking forward to come and spend time with you. Thanks for joining me at Sonance 2025.